No, the spirit of the bingo board is not cheating. Hey, thank you for joining the Escape With Me Book Club. Escape with me, Sam Reiner.
And me, Kaitlyn.
Into our most recent read. Come with us as we evade reality and go into detail about a new book. We'll be covering the book from beginning to end, so there will be spoilers. Today we are going to the fictional city of Riverbraid.
Classic.
We don't know the country, it's just a city.
Do they never mention the country? I thought they did.
No, they just mentioned a bunch of other city-states.
Oh, that's right.
Published July 21st, 2020. 2020.
Oh, wow.
A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking is an award-winning YA fantasy standalone, only capable of magicking, which we're probably going to say a lot,
So much.
big goods. One 14-year-old is tasked with saving the city not once, but twice. But how can sourdough and gingerbread cookies save the city from an impending siege? Can our heroine make it home alive, or will she find that she must unjustly sacrifice her life for the greater good? And do we even want to know why Bob the sourdough starter enjoys eating meat? I don't want to think about it too much, honestly.
I loved Bob the sourdough starter.
Oh no, Bob's great. Give him all the stuff he wants.
But don't think too hard about it.
Don't think too hard about it. So about the author.
Yeah, I want to know about this lady.
So T. Kingfisher is a pseudonym.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Her actual name is Ursula Vernon.
That's a dope name.
It's pretty good.
Ursula Vernon.
So she is a writer, but she's also an artist and an illustrator. She has several graphic novels that she does the art for.
Nice.
That are also award-winning. She has won so many awards, it's not even funny. You go to her Wikipedia page and you scroll down and you look at awards, and she's been nominated for a lot, but she's won a lot, like more than 10.
Wow.
I can go back and count, but it's ridiculous. The amount of acclaim this woman has gathered is quite impressive. She has won 26 awards as of 2025.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, I'm not even going to count how many nominations she's had. It's ridiculous.
She's a finalist for a lot of them, too.
Yeah.
Wow. That's wild. Go her.
Yeah. She's had 40 nominations. 40 nominations.
Yeah, that's wild.
And that doesn't even include when she was nominated in 2006 for Digger, or when the web cartoon she was working on got nominated for Outstanding Black and White Art.
Yeah, honestly, she's very impressive, but I feel like kind of a hidden gem.
Yeah.
So I'd never heard of any of her work until you mentioned this book.
Yeah, same, but now I want more.
Yes, totally.
And so I have a couple of her books on my TBR, but she's been all over the map a little bit. She grew up in Oregon and then Arizona, which would be two very different experiences. And then from there, she decided to move to Minnesota to study anthropology at the McAllister College. I always think it's so fascinating when authors don't have the typical, or I guess the stereotypical, oh, I studied English Lit. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But it's fun to see how their major kind of plays into their storytelling.
100%, yeah.
So when they said she studied anthropology, I was not surprised.
Tracks.
Yeah, it's like finding out that Brandon Sanderson was a biology major. If you read Mistborn, you're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, she started in webcomics in 2005. Before that, 2005 was when she was nominated. So the early 2000s. Then she did children's books. And that's kind of why she had to take on she didn't have to, but she decided to take on the T. Kingfisher moniker, because she wrote these children's books and then she wanted to write adult books, which most of her books are. She has a lot of horror.
Oh, okay.
This is not adult, but I mean, it's older than a children's book.
Yeah, for sure.
And so she used that name to keep parents from getting confused.
Okay.
She chose it because, one, she loves kingfishers, which are very cute blue birds.
Yeah, I was very confused because I read this immediately after reading Quicksilver and Brimstone, in which the main male character's name is Kingfisher.
Oh, that's funny.
Because I saw, T. Kingfisher? What? It's very ironic that it's a similar name.
Yes. They're just little guys. They're little birds. It's adorable. It's also a reference to something that Ursula K. Le Guin mentioned, which Ursula K. Le Guin is sci-fi royalty, if you don't know that.
Oh, I do not.
Yeah, so she's a pretty big deal in the sci-fi community. So not surprising that someone would do something in her honor almost. So she goes to a lot of conventions.
Oh, nice.
And I love that her Wikipedia very proudly is like, hey, she's been a guest of honor at a lot of furry conventions.
What?
Yeah, on her Wikipedia. They're so funny. Good for her. I mean, she's highly decorated. If you enjoy it, you do it, go for it. And I'm honestly curious if it's because of some of her writings. Like, she has a series called World of the White Rat.
Okay, yeah, I saw that on her list.
And Hamster Princess.
That's hilarious.
They're listed under her career, so maybe it's related to that, but maybe it's not. Maybe she's just like, yeah, I want to do the thing. Good for her.
Yeah, that's wild.
She finally became a guest of honor at a sci-fi convention in 2017, so that was also exciting.
Wow. What a woman.
Yeah.
This is the most interesting, I feel like, backstory we've had in our list of ones we've done together.
Yeah, really good deep dive. She apparently battled breast cancer in 2023, but came out on the other side of it, so that's also very good. But honestly, she has written so many books, it's kind of insane.
Yeah, she really has.
What's more insane with how good this book is and how many awards it won, that's not even in her notable works box. That's insane.
Yeah.
When you have so much good, even really good stuff doesn't even make the cut.
Yeah, it is kind of wild.
So that's her. On our side, I don't know how I found this. I read it in 2020, which is the year I started doing audiobooks.
Oh, okay.
It was like May 2020 and I had started in April. So I'm not sure if I saw it on Goodreads or I was just flipping through books on my Libby app, but I picked this one up and I loved it. That will not be surprising with how much I've talked about it already.
Yeah.
But I loved it. And I was like, cool, I really want to do this with someone. And there was a couple of lines in here where I was like, Kaitlyn needs to read this.
Yeah.
So I had it open for any co-star to do it, but low-key, I was like, I really want to do this with Kaitlyn. And every once in a while, we need a break from Twisted Tales.
Yes.
To, I don't know, get some fresh air.
Yeah, palate cleanser.
And so we hit that venture point again, and I was like, we have to do this.
Yep, and it was a great suggestion.
Yeah, it really makes you think about all the things you listed 5 stars, where you're like, but is it this good?
Yeah.
Probably not, but it's okay. We can be inconsistent.
Well, and it's 5 stars, I think, for a different reason sometimes.
True. Sometimes it's entertaining and you love it.
Yes, because something can be not a great story, but it's a great palate cleanser and it gives you the good feels.
Yeah, I definitely think there are some 5 stars where it's either a really good comfort read or it's entertaining. But this one is, I mean, it's entertaining, obviously, but it's also kind of philosophical and makes you think.
It really does.
So I enjoy that very much about this. But before we get too far into it, age level for this is YA.
Yeah, very firmly.
And so the content warning is technically long, but it just throws things out there in the very blasé way YA can. And so when you sit there and you're like, oh my goodness, they talk about cannibalism so much in this book.
So much.
No one is actually eating anyone. It's just the kids being like, oh, the boogeyman.
The fear of it. The way we all talk about in the dark at sleepovers or something.
Yeah, or just the way kids can be really blasé about things. Granted, we're probably a little bit more desensitized in our modern world to a lot of things, but kids are so casual with that stuff. They just throw things out there. They just say things, and then as they get older and they gain more empathy and see the world a little differently, they're like, oh,
wait.
Yeah, there's so many things we probably watched as a kid, and you're like, oh my goodness, why did I watch this as a kid?
Yeah, whoops.
Watching Friends as a kid, I would see a couple episodes on TV and never think anything about it, and then I watched it as an adult, I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
This was so inappropriate.
Yes, 100%.
It's so kissy.
Yeah, because we don't have any reason to suspect it. And again, one of the themes I really loved in this book.
Yeah, and so I don't want to turn parents away from this book being like, oh my goodness, they talk about da 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 da. But maybe also it's a great opening to have conversations with your kid about stuff. So that's my view of it. If you're uncomfortable that this stuff is even coming up, first of all, like a 7-year-old shouldn't be reading this, but 14, yeah, like have a conversation with your kid.
Yeah, for sure.
All of this to say, we have murder, blood, death of a parent mentioned, bigotry, gore, death of animals, language PG-13, cannibalism mentioned, suicide mentioned, genocide mentioned, human waste, because reading that made my tummy very uncomfortable, and graphic violence.
Yeah.
It didn't bother me so much as an audiobook, and I'm thinking because it just went so quickly.
Yeah. It definitely did not feel very pronounced in the audiobook.
But reading it physically, don't eat lunch before that scene, that chapter.
Yeah.
You'll know which one it is. It's the one where they climb up a toilet.
Yeah. Oh, that was rough.
So, judge book by its cover. I don't know what to do with this.
It's pretty plain.
It's a purple cover, which is gorgeous. Big words, a wizard's guide to defensive baking, and then a gingerbread man looking angry holding a sword. I lack the imagination to contemplate what that means, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, and I think that's appropriate for the age group.
Oh, yeah.
It's very simple. There's not a whole lot to it. I personally wonder what it would feel like in my hands. Like, I wonder if she had it printed to almost feel like a cookbook.
I don't know. It's pretty average if you ask me. That would be a little bit funny if it was more cookbooky, but
yeah.
Like I said, I was down for it. I could not for the life of me figure out what this book was going to be about.
Yeah.
Just from the cover.
Oh, 100%. That was a struggle. I was like, what am I going to read here? And even halfway through the book, I'm like, how are we going to tie in the
defensive baking?
Yeah, where's the defensive baking coming in?
Don't worry, it sure pops up.
It sure does.
But yeah, can we all agree we want gingerbread familiar now?
Yes, 100%.
Ursula has made a very good case for why pastry would make the best familiars.
Yes.
But I really like her storytelling, just in general. She starts at big moments. It starts with a murder, like she finds a dead body in the bakery. But her storytelling can be both really, oh my goodness, a shock, but also she does foreshadowing every once in a while. She doesn't do it all the time, which I appreciate.
Yes, it's very clear.
And it's very good.
Which I think is important. As I saw a post actually the other day, I should have sent it to you, and it was this person kind of breaking down what does it mean to be able to read at certain grade levels, and talking about how as you get in older grade levels, it's not just literally understanding bigger and bigger words, it's comprehension, it's can I pick up on subtlety that's actually not explicitly written, blah, blah, blah. So I think for this age group, it's very appropriate. Reading it as an adult is a little more, it feels on the nose, but for the group that it's written on, the foreshadowing would be very well done.
Yeah, I think you made a note somewhere where, oh yeah, there's a killer named the Spring Green Man, and you're like, this is YA.
Yep, this is where it's YA showed.
Which I think it's camp. I'm down for it. That would be the stupid name people would name him. Here's the other thing. We are very unoriginal with our serial killer names. Oh no, it's geographic location killer. They can't really do that in River Raid. There's only one of us.
Yeah. Well, also too, Knackering Molly is the first person to give us his name, and it 100% tracks that that's someone who's a little bit bonkers in the head.
Yeah.
And has a little bit of her sanity that's been taken away from her, would name a person. So
yeah, I mean, it was accurate. Okay, here's the thing though. Why the heck you running around in light green clothes, you weirdo?
Yeah, bro.
He can control the air so your eyes just slip off of him. Wearing black would also do that.
Yeah, come on, bro.
My man.
Come on, bruh.
The fact that he's the Spring Green killer, that's on him.
Yeah.
That's on him. The Spring Green Man. It's stupid on his part. Like I said, I like the name. I think it's camp.
Even his coworkers identify who he is.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, Spring Green. And they're like, oh, it's that dude.
Yeah, that tracks. That's his color palette.
I appreciate the branding. But when you're a murderer, you don't really want branding. I mean, they have a motive operandum to be like, oh, this is me, by like taking a specific body appendage or something. But you don't want someone to look at you and be like, oh, it's that guy.
Yeah. He's also so classically dumb because he tells basically the whole plot of the evilness before he kills the person.
Oh, yeah.
Your villain narration ruined the story, bro.
No, my favorite. Okay, he's the guy who murdered this girl in the shop. We're just going to get right into it.
Yeah.
He's a freaking boogeyman. This dude pops up. You're in the middle of a nightmare and everything's going terribly. And then how could we make this worse? Murderer.
Yeah.
He pops up in the most random, but also climactically appropriate places.
Yes.
There's so much stuff going on in the book, and it's not like you necessarily forget him, but you're not expecting him to suddenly pop up and murder someone, and then he does.
Yeah, he's a little terrifying. If you can get beyond the existential horror of your government being overthrown and being taken control of by people in power, if you can get over that, he's actually probably the scariest character in the book.
And like we said, it's not necessarily because of what he looks like, and almost in a way, not even necessarily what he does. It's just his timing. Like, he keeps showing up at the perfect times. Every time it popped up, I'm like, I feel like I'm having a normal dream, and then it just randomly turns into a nightmare because my brain hates me.
Probably what it felt like for Mona too, honestly.
Yeah. So we'll talk more detail when it comes up, but yeah, the Spring Green man, that dude.
That guy.
But we have a semi-corrupt, the entire government isn't corrupt, but it is functioning corruptly. So the government.
Yeah, pretty typical kids' book.
Yes. So she finds the body, the police come, the local police are like, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, we don't have murders.
Bakery? Bizarre. Can we have more of those scones?
Yeah. Oh, this is a nice change in my day that I get to go sit at the donut shop for 3 hours while we're looking at the crime scene.
Yeah. So everything's normal with that until the Inquisitor shows up, who is kind of over them. He's pretty important. And he's just immediately like, oh, the girl did it.
You insolent fools, can you not see that this small child did this murder?
She was found with the body. And she's like, I found the body. That's literally at the trial.
Yep.
So he takes her to the palace and he's going to arrest her for this. I don't know if the death penalty is on the line here, but I wouldn't be surprised.
She definitely scared. Yeah.
But thankfully, the Duchess is there. She asks who questions, and she's like, yeah, it's not this person.
Yeah, sorry, bro.
Send her home. Which they do the super rude thing where they take you to the palace, but then you have to walk home.
Yep. A real thing that happens, by the way, in our modern justice system.
Yes, it does. The police aren't dropping you back off at home.
Nope.
After they take you in for questioning.
Yep. And if you get arrested in a tank top and booty shorts inside your own home, and it's snowing and 30 degrees outside, you ain't getting any more clothes.
Nope. Real thing.
Unfortunately, a theme in this book is that she does grapple with very well done parallels of our modern day society existing in a magic realm.
Yes.
She does great at it, though.
So this does the fantasy/sci-fi thing of taking real world problems and putting them in a fantastical setting, so we won't become so defensive with the message. Because this is definitely an anti-fascism book. It is definitely modeled after, several points in history, but definitely World War II, Germany, with the spies and then the registration and then reporting people and people just going missing.
Yeah. Extermination.
Yeah. But at the same time, you can see that at other points in history as well. So the overall message of this book is very anti-fascism, but it doesn't feel as cutting.
Yeah.
We have political commentators that are also anti-fascist who they're either a talking head or they have a TikTok channel or whatever. And some people are really into that, but a lot of people aren't. Oh, it's too political. It's too heavy.
Yeah.
I don't want to get the ick right now. I'm living it. I'm already living it. I don't want to live it again, But taking it out and putting it in this book.
Yeah. Or how do you conceptualize it from a teenager's perspective?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Babies first, anti-fascism. The thing, especially with the teenage years, is, and you can speak to this better than I can, the gaining of empathy is pretty big for that. Because, I mean, to a certain extent, kids are very them-focused, internally focused, which they kind of need to be to survive.
Yeah.
And then as you get older, you gain more empathy as you go through more life experiences, as you hear other people's stories, and eventually you're able to have this external facing as well, hopefully. That is the goal.
Yeah.
We live in a society. So I think she does a really good job of not scaring her audience, but educating them in a very age-appropriate way.
Yeah, we're not there in the story yet, but one thing that I absolutely love that you don't see in other YA books targeted to teenagers, a la Harry Potter and Hunger Games, is what was in my mind, is you just see in those books the heroes kind of doing the thing. They have their own feelings, but they never really question why what they're having to do is wrong. And so what I loved about this book is that if we look at personality stage development, this is fresh on my mind because I just had a training about it. Erickson's stage of personality development, your teenage years are all about identity, right? And you form this identity in relation to the world and the events around you. And she has this thing that basically makes her question her own identity in relation to everything else in her life. And then she actually gets to have feelings about it. She is upset that the adults aren't taking care of what they should be taking care of. Even at the end of the book, when, spoilers, everything goes fine and they save them, she sits down with Lord Ethan and finally takes space to be like, why the heck did you guys not fix this? Why on earth did it get this bad? You're the adult. You're supposed to be protecting people. And you don't get that in other YA hero books. You don't get Harry questioning Dumbledore what the actual heck he was doing. You don't get Katniss in a conversation with Snow. Why aren't you taking care of the people you're supposed to take care of? They just do the hero thing. And I like that she does both in this.
Yeah, with Katniss, because obviously she questions the system. She has a rebellion, but she's not sitting down with Haymitch and being like,
why aren't you being an adult about this? Why am I having to save you?
Why am I having to do this? And granted, it's a little bit her personality just to be like, fine, survive, do the thing right in front of my face. But there is not a moment for Katniss to sit down and be like, what the crap?
Yeah.
She has moments where like, I don't want to be a hero. I don't want to be involved in this. I just want to do my own little thing over here. But you keep forcing me to do things. But yeah, it's boom, 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 one after the other, where the author gives this character twice in the book an opportunity to be like, this isn't right. And to reframe heroism as, okay, maybe it's not as good as we were once told. Because the other thing is, when you're younger, black and white thinking,
yeah,
this is good, this is bad. Watch any children's movie. Some of them will have a little bit of depth, but most of them are like, this dude is bad, this dude is good. Good fights bad, good wins.
Yes.
Where as you get older, you know, life's not so black and white. There can be a multitude of good options, or there could be only bad options, and you have to pick the one that will least cause you regret or whatever. And so getting that more gray tones, getting more nuance into the conversation, there's a couple of lines that I was like, just straight up, like, these are the lines that made me want to do them with you.
Yeah.
There's 3 sentences in a paragraph that I excerpted this from. It should never have come down to me. There were grown-ups who should have stopped it. Everyone had failed at every step, and now Spindle and I were heroes because of it. And then later, her uncle is comforting her. He's a war hero, and he's talking about his war days, and he says, the reason that we have heroes, the reason that we celebrate them, is because you expect heroes to survive terrible things. If you give them a medal, then you don't ever have to ask why the terrible thing happened in the first place or try to fix it.
Ugh.
And that being brought into the conversation is so true. Think of superheroes and all the messed up crap they go through, but as a society, we're like, yeah, they're heroes.
Yeah.
They're superheroes. They have to fight aliens. They have to watch their friends die. They have to, whatever the thing is, fight the super nasty evil guy or somebody that they love that have turned into a villain or whatever it may be. Yeah, they're heroes. That comes with the territory. Those are fictional examples, but don't we do the same for other people? Don't we do that to veterans?
Yeah.
They come back, they have PTSD, they have issues with keeping a job, they have substance habits, but we don't look too closely at that because it's like, oh yeah, they're veterans.
Yep.
They had to have gone through hard things, obviously. And so I thought that was a really, really interesting point.
Yeah, that scene was so poignant for me, having a dad who has PTSD from war and that kind of stuff. We slap medals on him because it's actually really common. And I've learned from my dad, a lot of veterans actually turn down awards, and especially the Purple Heart, one of the most societally known military awards for doing something beyond normal honor and valor. More often than not, they turn down that award because what they had to do to become eligible for it is likely one of the worst things they've ever experienced in their entire lives.
Yeah, because the Purple Heart is specifically for people that got injured.
But also injured is a large category, right? Like people who have, like you said, PTSD and that kind of stuff. But yeah, a lot of them turn it down because taking that award acknowledges what happened and they don't want to do that. And again, this is YA, and this is where we compare it to Disney. You're doing themes and you're pulling out, like you said, you're developing that empathy. You're having people look past the system. I loved how much she questioned the Duchess. The Duchess's story arc was so good. They essentially meet this woman who admits she's been depressed and not able to handle her kingdom because of the overwhelming power from within her court and swaying her and not having the energy to deal with it, to basically being inspired by these kids to get her act together. And she admits to it when they call her out. She's like, yeah, I was asleep at the wheel essentially, and that's on me. And unfortunately, but this is the consequence of that and we can't avoid it.
And she straight up, at one point, she's like, she was playing the role of the fool because it was safer for her.
Yeah.
Which just implies that she was looking out for her own survival and not for her kingdoms and her peoples and people that their lives were actually in danger. Because come to find out, the Spring-Graying Man is killing all magic users. They're called magicers.
Yeah.
Which in this world, big magic isn't very common. Like you can do one thing and that's kind of it. She can work with dough and that is literally it. There's another guy that can work with wood a little bit. There's one that can work with fruit, and you hear several other ones. But for the most part, it's very small magic, and people that can do big magic are pretty rare. So all of these very average people, it is very barely different than your average person. Because if you're a really good baker, you can do a lot of the things that Mona can. Can't animate them or bring them to life. But there's a point where her aunt makes the best biscuits ever. They're even better than mine. And the aunt's like, yeah, you screw up and then rely on magic to fix it. Of course mine are better.
You're like, ouch.
So average people. And she was just looking out for number one for a while. And that just has some pretty horrible consequences. And it literally does. Why did it take a 14-year-old crawling out of your toilet for you to be like, oh, maybe I should care?
Yeah.
Her perception of that. And she probably does care about her people. She clearly is upset about it, but she's not putting her life on the line in this instance where, girl, you're the one with the power. All you did was assemble your little people and then walk him out of the city.
Yep.
We could have done this so much faster if you had just done your job. Ugh, I feel for her. Because here's the thing. This author says the quiet part out loud. Every time we have a YA story, or honestly, look at Nickelodeon shows or Disney shows. If the parents were competent, we wouldn't need teenagers to save the world.
Yep.
And Ursula is just like, nah, I'll say it. I'll say it real loud. What the crap, guys? This is pretty messed up. We have truly failed the children.
If this is where we're at.
If this is where we're at. If a teenager, if a 14-year-old has to solve things, things are pretty messed up.
Yep.
I think one of the reasons Hunger Games can get away with it, because it's dystopian, like, yeah, it is messed up. Everything is awful. This is terrible. But it's the Ariel thing. I'm 16. I'm an adult. Yeah, Ariel, you tell him. And then you become an adult and you're like,
whoa.
No. He's not doing the right thing, but no, honey.
Yeah.
No. It's so good.
It really is.
Also, thank you for acknowledging that PTSD is the thing.
Oh, yeah.
I love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's real. She's going to deal with her own stuff. She even talks about in the fallout of after it takes a while for the nightmares to go away, and it takes a while for her to not be scared, for her to sleep, all that kind of stuff. I think it was, she said, after she confronted, after the medals ceremony, after talking with her uncle again, after talking to Ethan and kind of getting everything off her chest, it wasn't until she started to really settle back in and not experience that stuff so intensely.
Oh, yeah, where she was able to talk it through and contemplate it. That's another rough thing. And I keep thinking of veterans. They go to war, they see these atrocities, and then they come back and everyone is like, oh, just do another Tuesday.
Yep.
And you don't necessarily want to traumatize the people around you, but you need to talk about it. Keeping it inside is so much worse for your health, not just your mental health, all of your health.
Yeah. And many veterans don't like that and will challenge you on that. And I will say, as a trauma therapy practitioner now, we have trauma modalities and stuff to help that don't require talking about it, reliving it, because most people, the hallmark of PTSD is avoidance. It's avoiding any kind of triggers or reminders of anything because it's too emotional, it's too painful, and you don't necessarily have to go back and relive it, right? But those symptoms are not going to go away just because you stop talking about it and you shove it down. Actually, it means usually they'll get worse.
Yeah. And I do think we are doing better than we have done in the past. Like Vietnam.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't go away because trauma is you experience something that your body doesn't have the coping mechanisms to handle. And then your body's like, cool, we can't deal with this. Roll it up in a nice little ball and we're just going to sit it here forever.
Yep, pretty much.
Until we can pull apart this little tangled up yarn mess thing. So I just love that the book acknowledges it without being either pandering or hitting you over the head with it.
Yeah.
It feels like how a real person might experience it. And so, I mean, heck, kids can experience trauma.
Oh, 100%.
So maybe seeing her and how she's handled hers can be a lesson for them to be like, oh, I'm feeling like this. I should do this thing. I should seek out, if not your parent, then an adult I can talk to about this, or someone that I can trust, like a teacher or somebody, and talk to them about it. Or there's several other ways she handles it. But that's a hallmark of this book to me.
Yeah.
That's the refreshing viewpoint. That's the take a step back. What media are our kids consuming that doesn't have this nuanced take of it? And they're maybe taking it for face value. Like, oh my goodness, it's amazing to be a hero. Everyone wants to be a hero. Everyone wants to be Batman or Superman or Iron Man.
Yeah.
Especially with the most recent Marvel upsurgence. Superheroes are in the forefront. Comic heroes are in the forefront.
Yep.
Heroes, woo, being a hero is great. It's wonderful. Yeah, they go through bad things, but then they win. So
yeah,
makes you realize, oh, maybe I should have a conversation with my kid.
Yeah, in an age-appropriate way.
In an age-appropriate way, like using books like this. We'll just make a list. Books you should read with your kids so you can have difficult conversations.
Yep, you don't have to start it. We'll do it for you.
We got this. We'll make a list. So along the way, she meets this boy named Spindle, who is 10, which before we started recording, we were talking about the different boxes on the bingo card, and one of the boxes is we ship it. And you were like, well, how old is Spindle? And I was like, he's 10 and she's 14. And you were like, oh, later.
Maybe eventually.
Shipping it down the road. You guys are trauma bonded. You could wait a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But I do think they're going to grow into a more brother-sister relationship, especially since he's living with her now.
Yeah, and lost his sister.
Or here's the thing. Mona, her parents passed away, so now she's living near her aunt. Her aunt and uncle have a bakery. They live above the bakery. Oh no, there's no room for you. So she rents a room several doors down, like 6 doors down, and sleeps there. But then they find out about Spindle, and they're like, oh, we should clean the storage room.
That's true. I never realized that.
What the heck, Tabitha? We're too lazy to clean out the storage room for you, Mona, but this random child.
Oh gosh, that's so true though.
What? Anyway, I think they'll have more of a brother-sister relationship.
Probably, yeah.
But he's the little brother of the girl that was murdered in the bakery.
Yeah.
And he is a rogue type. You know, he's an urchin. He lives on the streets. He knows how to survive. He knows how to pickpocket. He's pretty good at sneaking around, which comes in very handy. Okay, here's the thing. Can we talk about how balanced this book is? How this entire process is teamwork and not just one person doing the thing? Looking at you, ugly series. But there's so many YAs where the main character can do the thing and everyone else sucks. Everyone else here is a personality hire for entertainment purposes, but they're the ones that have to do all the things. I also think that is quite refreshing and I really enjoyed it. Like, Aunt Tabitha's useful, Spindle's useful, Mona's obviously useful. Her uncle, who barely gets any screen time, is useful when they have that conversation. The Duchess is useful. She's out there in the war. She's on the roof with armor. And she's like, I'd rather die up here than wait in my castle.
Yeah.
Everyone that comes together, even at the end, you meet a new character. He's a blacksmith and he's super helpful and you like him. I just like helpful people, I guess. It was just really refreshing that it's not all on her to be this amazing tactical genius.
Yeah, everyone serves a purpose for sure.
Yeah, later on she has to make gigantic cookies and they're gingerbread men and so they can barely walk and she's like, oh no.
Yeah, she realizes that she forgot about the feet and she thinks everything's going to collapse.
She's like, everything's gone. We've wasted all this time. And then this random dude's like,
buckets.
You don't need to make bigger feet. Let's tie plates to it. And then Tabitha's like, of course, we need shoes.
Yeah.
And so together through this teamwork, they come up with these barrels for their shoes so that it can walk and do its purpose. I loved that. I love the teamwork throughout this book. It's not one person doing it.
Absolutely not.
Or not even a trio. I feel like that's as big as a group of helpful people as you normally get in a YA.
Yeah, is the trio.
Fantasy / sci-fi. Everyone is useful. Except kind of Oberon. He's the villain. No one cares.
Yeah, I was about to say, he sucks.
So even though she's been cleared of any wrongdoings, for some reason, the constables have been instructed to grab her on sight.
I was like, wait, where are you picking back up at?
So after the trial, she goes home and, oh, business as usual, except she almost gets murdered in her basement.
Yeah, well, she has the rat's nest, so we learn about
the poor side.
The poor side, yeah, what the structure of the classes are here. And you meet Knackering Molly, who you're like, that woman's going to be super useful. Raises horse from the dead, excuse me?
I know! That was the one thing where Mona's like, I don't see how that's useful. Mona!
Well, I totally forgot to say this because we kind of skipped over Mona's stuff, right? So she spends the whole beginning of the book kind of getting down on herself, a la most teenagers, right? Underestimating. And then she literally animates a cookie that has will and can follow instructions. And I'm like, oh, so you're casually going to throw out there that you have reanimation magic and it's no big deal. What?
Yep.
You super powerful.
Well, that's the thing with teenagers. They either are super downplaying what they're doing because their normal is what they perceive as the world's normal. And so she can do the thing and that's unimpressive to her because she can do the thing. And it's like, oh, everyone can do something helpful. When in reality, an outside person looking in, they're like, oh my goodness.
Whoa.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because they realize, no, that's not the normal. Or they go the other way and a little bit spindle. They overhype themselves. They're like, oh, I'm the best ever because I can do it. And in my experience, no one can do it like me, you know.
Yeah, 14-year-old rogue. No one else in the city can do it like you.
Yeah, 10-year-old rogue. He gets called out on it a couple of times by Mona, but also by other people, and it's a little bit funny.
Yeah.
Can confirm. I have nephews, 10-year-olds. They're pretty confident of themselves.
Yeah, pretty hyped.
That's the precipice of the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you go from childhood where like, oh my goodness, I drew blue over this paper. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. To, okay. And you're like, what? My entire life I have been so impressive. And now I'm going to my peers or other important people in the field. And they're like, that's unimpressive. Oh no.
Yeah.
Growing up is a trip, man.
It really is. It's wild.
I was just thinking about that the other day with my kid. Like he did something. He's like, I did it. And it was like the most mundane thing.
Yeah, but there's just so much confidence.
I did it. And then you have to be like, yeah, baby, you did it.
Yeah, you got to hype him up.
You got to hype him up because if you don't, the world certainly isn't.
Nope.
But I was just thinking about that. At some point, we go from everything I do is I did it to
it's expected of you.
It's expected of you, or you are now wide open for criticism. If you're going to criticize a 3-year-old's drawing ability, you're the jerk.
Yeah.
We don't even need to get Reddit involved. You're the jerk. But, I mean, people do that with like middle schoolers and high schoolers. It's such a trip. No wonder we're all messed up.
Honestly, this book is pulling out so much.
Right? So many thoughts about childhood and growing up and whatever. We don't even need to talk about the story. No. So she almost gets murdered. She throws Bob at the dude.
Oh, Bob.
I have to be honest. There are certain points, because it has been 4 years since I read this book, that I forgot what happens next. And I literally was like, does Bob eat him?
Yeah. I hoped he would, but he does not.
He does not. He turns into this acid thing and burns him. But
So how familiar are you with sourdough starters?
Okay, I'll be so honest. Zero.
Okay, I have a sourdough starter, so I can tell you.
I know it's required to actually make sourdough bread, and it's bacteria that hangs out over there, and then you somehow use it to make bread. But if you don't have a good starter, then the bread sucks.
Yeah, pretty close.
I do not make sour bread. I did not get on the hype chain. So that's all I kind of know is people will straight up just sell starters to people.
Yeah.
There's such a market for it because, like I said, if you don't have a good starter, then your thing sucks.
Yes.
But I could not tell you how you get from wiggly jiggly in a bowl over there to actual bread.
Well, so if you've ever done, which I know you haven't, a lot of any kind of baking, right?
I mean, I've done not bread.
Yeah. So bread or certain recipes that call for yeast, right? So it essentially substitutes that part because bread is alive. Baking is literally dealing with living things constantly. So we have a starter. Its name is Lazarus. We got it from my sister-in-law who got it from a place where she went to take a class. I preferred Frodo Baggins. That was my preferred name, but Lazarus won out. Anyway, so a sourdough starter, she constantly talks about like feeding it. A sourdough starter that sits out and isn't dormant in the fridge, you have to feed it every single day. So you take it, you mix everything up, you pour off a little, that's called discard, and then you feed it with equal parts water and flour, right? So the fact that this thing is a living, breathing thing that doesn't necessarily need flour to survive and will eat literal creatures, organic matter, man, I got a kick out of that.
It's pretty wild. I didn't realize you could use the same starter for multiple batches. I thought this was like a one-time per.
Nope, it's what you mean when you said you have to have a good starter. The starter is a living thing because it's got the good bacteria, and that's the, not flora and fauna, but that kind of mentality of what's helping it grow and continue to be something that you then add in. That's what gives it the sour taste.
The more you know.
Yeah, our sourdough starter is in a big jar and it's in the fridge because you can put it in the fridge and essentially everything goes dormant, which we actually need to mix ours. I haven't fed it in a while. And then you can take it out, every week or so and let it come to room temperature, activate again, and then do the same thing where you feed it, pour stuff off. And then you either use active sourdough starter or discard, like I mentioned, to bake bread or cinnamon rolls. That's what I've made a lot with mine.
So we can all agree it's very creepy that it can move around and eat rats, right?
Yes, very. But also hilarious, and what a good little note.
He's just a guy.
Yeah.
Just a little sourdough starter. He don't mean anything by it. He's just hungry. Throws Bob at him, turns into this acid thing. She runs away, and at first, Spindle and then eventually Molly are like, hey, stay in the shadows, stay in here, don't get caught. And she's like, I've done nothing wrong, which that doesn't mean much to me in our current day and age. I've done nothing wrong. I have nothing to be apologetic for. Goes to the constable eventually in an almost tantrum, and she's like, hey, someone tried to murder me. And the author does it, and I picked it up, and you picked it up, and Mona picked it up. He's like, of course, Mona, we'll get this solved. And this is not her normal constable. She has regular constables that she sees that would know her name, but this is just a random dude. He's like, hey, Mona, we'll figure this out. And she's like, so I never told you my name.
That's sus.
Why do you know it? Turns out she's quote unquote wanted for questioning in relation to treason, maybe, question mark?
That's what they put out there. That was the excuse.
That's the excuse to bring her in.
Yeah.
The Spring Green Man mentions before he kills her, like you said, he just shares everything.
Yep, shares the plot before actually killing the character.
Which is very helpful, honestly, on his part.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as a reader,
we need this.
We need that. Thank you so much for this. Because you have so many other plots you have to keep straight. We don't have time for mystery. We don't have room for mystery. We got stuff to do. But he mentions there's this list of magickers, and the more powerful ones are near the top. And she got moved up the list. And Mona throws it away, like a throwaway line. She's like, oh, I wish I knew what the list was and the order and where I came in it originally. And I was like, yeah, I very much wish that. What? I want to know the reasoning that they pick certain things over other things. Because my final belief, she doesn't understand why he's trying to kill magickers. And then when she talks to the Duchess is like, oh, oh, well, I doubt he even cares.
Yeah, it's not a personal thing. It's just they challenge the power. They challenge the politics. That's all it is.
Yeah. And having gotten to the end, and you see how much it ends in a siege, like I alluded to in the very beginning. Oberon is working with these mercenaries that are just the worst humans. And just look how much damage a magicer with bread and a magicer with dead horses were. Can you imagine a city filled with magicers who are openly okay with helping the government because the government is actually treating them well?
Yeah.
He could never.
Well, and they make a comment at some point too about how proud their city is, that they are one of the last and only cities that doesn't have a registry of their magicers and that doesn't track them.
Doesn't make them live in a ghetto, there's so many things.
Yeah, they make that comment. So obviously it's a problem throughout the rest of the kingdom, right? This is sentiment that is shared by other people.
Yeah. So I honestly think in the end, that's why.
Yeah, they're too powerful.
He has this plan to kind of take over with cloak and dagger stuff, but if that fails, I guess
Oberon, you mean?
Convinces the army to go like 10 days away to be like, oh, there's Carrick's people out there. Carrick's are the evil ones. There's Carrick's people out there. And then you come to find out they're actually only 2 days away.
Yeah.
So when the time finally comes where Mona goes to the Duchess and is like, hey, all this stuff is happening, and the Duchess pulls herself together, okay, let's do the thing.
There's no one for help.
He eventually gets exiled and he just walks to the Carricks and is like, okay, let's take over.
Yep.
So that was his plan B, and I honestly think that's why he was taking out the magicers. He wasn't worried about their power. I mean, he was, but not in a normal day setting. Like, he didn't think they were actually dangerous. But like I said, can you imagine the Carricks taking out a city? At least I think they're a minority, but even 30% of the population having these magic. Can you imagine the guy who can magic wood?
I don't know. I disagree in that maybe it's a YA novel, so it doesn't give us as much of the hatred, but it does point out the fact that they are powerful and they're more powerful than people think they are, but a lot of them haven't had the training, so they don't realize how powerful they are because a lot of them refuse to do any kind of training about it. And so I think he fully understands their power, which is why he's trying to get them out of the city.
Yeah, that's just what I mean, is he's trying to get them out of the city because he wants the Carricks as that plan B, and they can only do so much against magic.
Yeah, exactly. He's got to empty the city as best he can because there is only so much they can do.
Yeah, that's his under motivation, not because anything that they thought of. It's because of this Carrick's plan B.
Yeah.
The amount of people that get murdered in this book is kind of insane.
Yeah, it really is.
Before they even do this, they talk to one of the messengers. There's 3 messengers. This reveal was done really well. There's 3 messengers that have the ability to instantly reach out to the army and deliver a message in the whole kingdom. And one of them just died of natural causes, which as soon as the Duchess says it, she's like, oh, wait a second. Natural causes. And then there's one guy that's really old. And then there's a third one. They're like, okay, well, then let's use the third one. And then everyone realizes, oh,
actually,
no, he wears spring green.
That's a spring green, man.
My dude, if you were just a little bit more subtle, just a little bit, you could have gotten so much farther. Oh, well. So they go to the old one instead. He can do stuff with water. He talks to Mona about, you should really rethink how you think about your magic. Because she's like, oh, I can't do amazing things or cool things or whatever. And he's like, we all have little tricks that we use to be this powerful. You could learn those tricks.
Kindly old man, gonna die.
Yeah.
Whoops.
So this is one of the boogeyman things. They reach out. It's just him and Mona. The others are down the hall because of space reasons. And they reach out to the army. He's in the middle of telling them to come back. And then he just gets stabbed.
Yep, through the back.
Out of nowhere.
Yep. Terrifying.
Freaking boogeyman. That's literally a nightmare. You're just sitting there and you're having fun fantasy moments. And then your brain's like, and murder.
Murder. Yeah. Low-key terrifying.
Very much so. And this is what gets Oberon in the end, because Oberon, oh, you're going to be exiled. And he's like, oh, these people, they brainwash you, Duchess. They're terrible. Just ask this other dude. And they're like, we just watched this other dude murder someone.
Yep. And he's like, well, jig's up.
Yeah, he's immediately like, well, dang it. Does not fight it or anything. He's like, fine, plan B. Which that's kind of the last you see of him. There's a moment during the siege where he's like, you should give in to my demands. And they're like,
no,
we will not do the thing. And then he rides off. And then later they find some of his personal effects, but they don't find a body, which I'm with Mona on this. I trust nothing.
Yeah, he not dead.
Unless I find a body.
She has very good reason to be suspicious.
Yes. But she's like, hey, as long as he's out of the city, I don't care, which I can't blame her.
But also, he can still run amok outside of the city.
He could. He might come back. Except this is a standalone, so he won't come back.
I definitely would love more of this series, for sure.
I know. We're just going to have to settle for one of her bajillion other books. But yes, no, I thought the same thing. I was like, no, I want more of this world. You made me fall in love with his characters and these settings. What are you doing?
Well, and at first, I definitely found myself getting caught up in how simple it all was, which again, not inappropriate for a YA.
It's very straightforward.
Because again, I also just came off of reading Quicksilver and Brimstone, for if anyone who knows, drastically different books and settings and the amount of lore and world building and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, tone is drastically different. But again, it was still so good. And something we haven't mentioned, and I'll throw it in here. I finished this book in a span probably of a week, maybe a little more than a week. And I finished it nearly 2 weeks in advance of this recording. And I finished it before Sam did.
Yeah, you did.
Truly, the reason for that, I think, is it's just so well done and it's so refreshing. It's a literal breath of fresh air when it comes to the things that it tackles, how it tackles them, all of that. It's just, it was so good.
It is so good. Facts. Yeah, I know. We switched places. I was the one at midnight trying to finish this book before the recording.
Yeah, and I think that's a testament to it.
It is so good.
So it's just so easy to read. It's digestible, but also you get so much out of it still, too.
Oh, yeah. And it was so funny to me because you kept texting me and you were like, how does it still have more pages?
Oh, yeah. I got to the part where she was like, yeah. And I got home and he was gone and everything was good. 3 days later, a la SpongeBob. And I'm like, there it is.
Yeah, it's the foreshadowing. And I went home and everything was fine. Well, at least everything should have been fine. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, very classic.
Yeah. So that's like the second part of this book. I mean, it's like the last third.
Yeah, it's broken up into 2 big story beats.
So with the Oberon, with the magicking, with all of that. And then the siege, where, as we mentioned, Oberon goes to these terrible mercenaries and is like, we're going to take over the city. And they're like, yeah.
Hope you're down. Yeah.
So she is basically the only wizard left in the city. They have either been killed / disappeared, or they left, or they're hiding because now they don't trust the government.
Yep.
It's like, what do you mean you wanted to put us on a list, but now you don't want to put us on a list, but you want us to come report to the castle?
Yeah, this is sus.
Yeah. I don't believe you. Not coming near you.
Heard this before.
Her uncle even mentions that at one point. He's like, that is sus. We need to get her out of here.
Yeah, because she overhears a conversation between her aunt and uncle about whether or not they should take her
through a scone.
Yeah, when she's practicing her magic, because now that she's gotten a taste of what her magic can do and that she actually does have more powers, we get our magic montage where she starts learning more about her power, which I loved.
Yeah, she does it twice in the book. Once where she's hiding out in this bell tower because wanted. And then the second portion was after she goes home and she has found this book that starts talking about magic, and it's the first time she's ever read anything magic before, because as she explains in the beginning of the book, there's no way to really teach someone about magic because everyone's magic is different. Like we said, everyone can do their own separate little thing, and so how do you teach all of that?
Yeah.
But it seems to be the basic principles of magic and how it works. So she finally gets this book and she's very excited about it, which, yeah, it helps her. And yeah, she can listen
through scones,
through pastry.
How cool.
And then she can also get flashbacks, or not even flashbacks, but she can see through pastry if it has eyes, like the bad gingerbread men.
Oh, that's right. She can get flashes flashes and almost visions.
Yeah, which I feel like she would be able to see more clearly if there weren't 23 of them.
Maybe.
And her mind was separated because of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty nuts. So she's the only one. They're like, we need your help. And she decides, after a long diatribe, I wish I could use this. The Duchess, she spends this really long time being like, I can't help you, Duchess, because of all of these reasons. And the Duchess is like, I honestly don't have time for this conversation. So can we just skip to the part where we pretend you said all of it and I made all the correct responses, and then you're like, I'll do whatever we need to do.
Yes. Oh, it was so great.
It's like, I also kind of wish I could do that. And Kimmy's like, can we just skip to the part where you tell me the thing and we just do it?
Yeah. And again, good on TK Kingfisher, because it also didn't feel like she was trying to get out of plot. It's clear that we don't need to spend a chapter debating internally what to do, because we know she's going to do it. She's the main character in a hero novel, right? But it was not a fade to black with helicopter sounds while they had this big moment. So it was the good humor to get it done.
Yeah, for sure. So what she ended up deciding to do is make cookie golems. At first she says that they're going to be 14 feet tall and they end up being about 12 foot tall, but still.
Yeah, huge.
Can you imagine a gingerbread cookie? Okay, I do have to be honest though. I don't think we can properly talk about the gingerbread familiar without thinking of Gingy from Shrek.
Yes. Oh, 100%. Let's just put it out there. Everyone was thinking it.
Everyone's thinking it. And then she makes these cookie golems. What is that? Shrek 3?
3, I think. Yeah.
Where Gingy gets supersized.
Yep. Hilarious.
It's kind of unavoidable.
Yeah.
But yeah, cookie golems. And then the castle and the city works together to get her enough dough to create this outside oven to figure out how to make these.
How to bake her golems.
How to bake the golems, which they do with a lot of trial and error. She also comes up with we mentioned the bad gingerbread men.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
That go out and create mischief so the Carracks can't sleep. She comes up with putting Bob in a bunch of jars so he can just be this acid rain. Although you have to admit, even if you didn't have Bob, throwing glass jars at people is pretty effective.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Even just regular dough, super sticky and gross.
Yeah, so he gets to just hang out and be an acid rain, and I can't get over the fact he has tentacles. It's fine. We're not going to think about this too hard. But yeah, so she has all these ideas and it's going pretty well. And obviously they're trying to raise an army with the people. And I'm glad that they point out that a ragtag team of just random citizens makes bad warriors, not because they're incapable themselves, but because war is a group sport. Thank you. Every time I read the book where it's just like, oh, us ragtag individuals are going to get together and overthrow the government.
And everything's fine. Yeah.
And everything's fine. A lot of people died, but none of the main characters.
So it's good.
So it's fine. But yeah, I had no idea going into this book what to expect, but cookie golems.
Not what we expected.
Not what I expected.
Yeah, the gingerbread men were more of it for me. The little gingerbread mischief people, I was definitely scared. Just like her. Oh, just the magic creation too, impacting her slowly starting to realize her magic has limits and that she can't extend herself. It's draining her. It's slowly killing her. At one point, she is going to sacrifice herself in this last magical act before her aunt's like, girl, please, you dumb, go sit down.
Yeah, and Molly ends up making the final sacrifice out of her, but...
Oh, Molly. She keeps pointing out a lot, you're the only one left, you're the only one left, you're the only one left. I'm like, you're definitely not. Molly did not leave the city.
Yeah. Molly is one of the veterans that this society has failed. She went to war. They tried to recruit her. She went with them. Things did not go well. She came home and she's like, I hate government. I hate the army. And clearly have lost faculties. So fair. But yes, at the last hour, she comes in and saves them.
Yeah, like a hero.
Like a hero, which is very sad. I think the quote is, no one should have to become a hero.
Yeah.
Which is so good. Deconstructing heroes.
Apparently.
I really like it, okay?
That's fine.
But not in whatever the heck Zack Snyder was trying to do way. More like the deconstructing what if Superman landed in Russia. I like those. I like deconstructing things that we take for granted.
Yeah.
Which this book does really well. Yay!
Yeah. And as always, we tend to end up going out of order, but it's just for me, like the overarching thing of her just constantly getting to question the system that she's in, how it came to be, why she's having to do this, all that. It's so poignant for a kid's book.
Oh yeah, so nuanced. You can tell she trusts the reader.
Yeah.
There are some YA books where they hold your hand and almost make you feel stupid with how much detail that they go in and how much stuff they have to spoon feed you. But she's like, no, I believe in you guys.
Yeah.
You can figure this out. And she just trusts her audience to be able to understand what her message is. It was very good.
Yeah, very.
But yeah, they manage it. The military comes back a day after the siege ended.
No, they said it was almost 5 or 6. She has a whole internal thing of, yeah, we definitely would have died.
Yeah, because they, at a forced march, they were like, we're 5 days away. And then the Carricks were 2 days away.
Yeah.
And so they had 3 days. And they're like, okay, we need to hold them off.
As long as we can.
As long as we can so they can get there as fast as they can. But then the guys broke down the main gate door by like early morning. It didn't take any time.
Well, they also mentioned too that I think at one point the military guy mentioned that they're also trying to create as much chaos because if the Carricks get in and then the military shows up, they need to have depleted the Carricks enough so that the military had a chance.
Because if they fail, then that means their own army is also going to have to do a siege.
Exactly.
So it was not great odds. They managed to do it because of cookie golems and various other things. At the last minute, she makes a chocolate chip cookie dough slug.
Oh, yeah.
That would be terrifying because I bet it also eats meat.
Ugh.
Just like Bob. Anything with dough and tentacles. And I'm like, I don't want to think too hard about this. But they managed to do it because, like we said, Molly makes this final sacrifice. She does a really, really big magic and she summons all the dead horses who just trample everything. Not terribly surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. They get medals. Mona hates the ceremony. Apparently, everyone hates the ceremony. To your point.
Yes.
No one wants to be here.
Nope. But we still feel the need to do it, even though there's, again, this unspoken understanding. And again, a part of it is it's the government making itself feel better about it.
Yeah.
Congrats, you survived.
Yeah, it's mainly the government, but tradition too. Because there also has to be this component of keeping up appearances to make the other people also look good. It's like you also have this award that this amazing person has won, huzzah, because, marketing. But yeah, it's really interesting how she does it. She doesn't really pull punches in that it's not this unrealistic, oh, this 14-year-old has questioned the system and now the entirety of our society, culture, and values will change. It doesn't do that, which it shouldn't have. So yeah, it's very nuanced. It's literally all of them going, we realize that this is messed up, but what else are we gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. Like, we don't really have any other option.
Are we just not supposed to give people medals now? It's so ingrained in their culture and our culture, honestly, too.
Yeah.
We don't have anything better to replace it with, so we're just gonna keep doing the thing.
Yep.
Oh, dear. But it's fine. They can leave early. Everyone else is jealous. I would be, too.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Hate awards airways. So, yeah, she's a baker.
Exactly.
That's all she's ever wanted to be. This entire book, she's like, what the crap? I am a random baker. Why am I involved in this? That's a great question.
Well, and again, that post book where she starts getting really annoyed at people coming and wanting to talk to her and hear her story, and even her aunt not realizing the impact it's having on her.
She's like, yeah, go perform.
Yeah, exactly. Go do the thing. Everyone's so proud. It's good PR. And then finally the uncle steps in and was like, no.
Yeah, because they're not coming in for her pastries, which is what she wants to be known. She just feels gawked at. She feels like she's a spectacle.
Yep.
And she never wanted to be that. She didn't ask for this. The only reason she has this is because a lot of people failed.
Yep. And she keeps reflecting on that. She can't really get past that.
Which is fair. I don't think she should have to. There is also a really good point that the general makes about heroism becoming a habit, in part because the traits in which cause you to be a hero don't just evaporate now that you are a hero, that sense of duty, but also because people expect it.
Yeah.
They're like, you saved us last time, obviously you'll save us this time. Like, that's basically your job now.
Hero.
You're a hero.
Hashtag branded.
So that's also a really good point.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's pretty nuanced. Like, it has a message it wants to share, but it also doesn't try to claim to have the solutions either. It's just, you should think about this. and consider the negative sides of this. Because like we said, there's an award ceremony. It's not like Kingfisher is like, and we have rethought, like I said, we have rethought everything about our society, and this is what the new society looks like. And it's so much better than the old one. I'm so glad we fixed this in like 5 seconds. Like even at one point, Mona's like, so what happens now? And then the Duchess lists all these things, and she's like, that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
I thought we got the bad guy and then we were done. But no, we have to politic. General thoughts. Can we make this required reading in like high school, middle school?
Honestly.
Like I read so many books that have a similar message to this, but are not nearly as entertaining or good or poignant. I mean, they're poignant, but I'm in middle school. I don't want to read overly formal writing from the 20th century.
Yeah.
Like, let's do this one. 2020, that's a recent. I think people would like it. But alas, we must continue to teach. And I'm not saying we shouldn't teach the classics, but I also think if we sprinkled stuff in like this, I think kids would have a more enjoyable reading experience.
I do agree, but I also think it's one of those, like this is going to have to take its time to work its way into things. But we're also only just now, think about when we went to school, I don't really think you had a lot of writers utilizing fantasy to teach these kind of stories.
Or if they did, it was cumbersome.
Exactly.
And maybe not school appropriate. Yeah, the YA boom, we experienced it in middle school. So the world is a different place.
It very much is.
The ones that ended up getting me, like I read Tale of Two Cities, I read Frankenstein, I read big chunks of Paradise Lost, The Sound and the Fury, The Sun Also Rises. I read all of those books, and in a way, I honestly think they were wasted because we read them so young.
Exactly.
That we weren't really able to think about it as deeply as an adult might. But this book, I feel like anyone could get something out of this. The one book that I remember and I really, really enjoyed and I bought and I've made other people read is The Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver, who is also a highly decorated. She's won Pulitzer Prizes for her books.
So let's say that name sounds familiar.
But that book came out in like 1998. And so that's still like 20th century, more modern than some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It got to me much better than some of the other books that were meant for adults. Ernest Hemingway wasn't like, let me write this book for a bunch of teenagers in high school to read. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
So it is what it is on that one. But I'm like, this should be required reading. This one's pretty good.
It is really good.
It's a standalone. It's short.
Which is so nice. And that's so important for younger kids too.
Yeah, being short is great. Stop expecting me to read like 100 pages a day on top of all my other homework.
Yeah, so hard.
Just because I was such a slow reader. The one time I managed to keep pace with it, that's all I did. I basically had to neglect all my other classes.
Yep.
So this one's short. It's 309 pages.
I was wondering, you've read the audiobook too, so.
Yes, I liked the audiobook a lot.
At first, the narrator threw me off, but she really grew on me as I continued listening.
Yeah, I think they do a great job. I want to say like 8 hours?
Yeah, 9 hours.
Okay, that's pretty average. It's award-winning, guys. It's not the Newbery Award, which is the one you guys are obsessed with for some reason, but she's gotten Hugo Awards, a bunch of different awards. We could make an argument.
Yeah, you really could.
One question for the author. She has to make sourdough, right?
You'd think. She knows enough about it.
There's too much baking information in here. She must be a baker. She has to have made things.
Yes.
So with the assumption of yes for that question, my next question is her favorite shape, or her favorite design that she likes to make on the sourdough bread.
Oh, okay. I was like, what do you mean?
Can you go on TikTok? The really fancy people with sourdough can make almost anything.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You can make it just this abstract geometric thing, or you can totally make cartoon characters. There's so many things you can make with it. And I'd be very curious what her favorite design to do. Is she just like a classic person, or does she have other ones?
Yeah, that's a good question. I didn't think about that. Obviously, this book came out in 2020, so she had to have written it before then, right, to get to that point.
Yeah, it was pre-COVID. What was that world like?
I know, right? But also, we know some of the things that were happening then.
Yes.
And I don't know when she wrote it or how long she's had this. And I don't know any of her other adult works, any of her other young adult works, but I guess maybe less politically charged. My question is, does she or anyone she know deal with PTSD? Does she have military members in her family? Because she really did capture that essence super well.
Yeah. Just to add on to that, I do like how the author almost gives kids permission to have PTSD.
Yeah.
Or to feel some type of way about stuff, because I swear to goodness, and I don't know why, I think we've gotten better about it, but especially even us growing up, we weren't allowed to have those big feelings.
Nope.
If you felt depressed, you were ungrateful. If you feel some type of way about anything, that's on you.
Yep.
Because we did not have this Miss Rachel, it's okay to have big feelings. Literally, if you're crying, I'll give you something to cry about.
Yep.
The older I get, the more I'm like, what?
I look at my daughter and I literally cannot in any context imagine ever saying that to her.
I will physically harm you because you are upset, and that is the solution to this problem. It's one of those things where you are in something and that's the normal until you get out, and then you're like, wait a second.
Yep.
Oh, that was real messed up.
Yep.
Yeah, so she just gives them permission to be like, hey, you can go through messed up crap too, and it's usually because an adult has failed you, and you're allowed to be upset about that.
Yep.
I didn't grow up in a adults don't apologize household, but I knew people that did.
Yeah.
Even if the parent did something atrociously bad, you should just get over it because they're the adult and you're a child.
Exactly. Yeah, you, the kid, have to somehow be the bigger person.
Yes.
That is a hill I will die on. I got told that growing up all the time. Well, you're the older sister. You have to be the bigger person. You have to X, Y, and Z. I'm like, I'm a kid. And even now, as an adult, the adults older than me, the people higher up in the hierarchy of my family, I still see as having an obligation to me as the younger person, as the person who was once a child, that they messed up.
Yeah, it's so wild. It really is this trivializing of feelings to be like, you're a kid. What do you have to be whatever about? But like I said, trauma doesn't necessarily have to be a horrible thing.
Yeah.
Like I was explaining to my friend this, literally one of the things I experienced was I was on a school bus. My nails were kind of dirty for some reason because nails. And my friends was like, ew, your nails are dirty. And in middle school, like this is the most basic whatever. Another person could be in that situation and brush it off and be like, whatever. But for me, the concept of social ostracization because I had dirty nails, that was so much that I couldn't handle at that moment because of some other stuff going on in my life. Not like anyone did anything wrong. It's not like some terrible thing happened where we could make a dramatic movie about, but that was so much. To this day, I'm obsessive cleaning my nails.
Yeah, it leaves a lasting impact for sure.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be this big thing for kids to have trauma. And growing up, I remember parents being like, wow, what you kids are going through today is insane. I can't imagine it. And that's how I feel about the generation now.
Yeah.
We grew up with the internet, but we didn't grow up with smartphones. We didn't grow up with social media in middle school for us. So I guess technically we grew up with it, but not in the same way.
But not the social media they have now. Yeah.
We didn't grow up with TikTok.
Yep.
And TikTok can be a tool for good or bad, but there is a cesspool that exists on it, and it is uncomfortably easy to access.
Yep. Big tech companies didn't necessarily at that time intentionally put things out that they knew were going to addict us and keep us coming back because it made them money.
Yeah. The algorithm is concerning for me, but that's beside the point. Agreed with your question before we went on that rant. I'm just trying to check off the Sam rant box.
Oh, yeah. Appropriate ranting.
Rating real gingerbread out of 10. I've had gingerbread cookies in general, you know, they're like a Christmas thing and whatever. And then I also grew up going to the Scottish games, which we talked about in our Brave episode.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Man, you haven't had real gingerbread till you get it at a Highland Games. It makes you look at all other gingerbread like sad impersonations of what could be.
Really?
Oh, it's so good. It's insanely good. It is so much better than the little packets of hard gingerbread with the icing on top of it.
Yeah, because I'm usually not a big fan of gingerbread because I despise hard cookies with a passion.
It's not necessarily supposed to be hard.
Yeah.
It's just so much better. It's like having a croissant in France.
Mm.
We don't eat croissants. No wonder they come over here and they're snobby about it because theirs is God sent. And then we're eating whatever pale interpretation that man has created in attempt to play God, you know?
Your mass-produced Costco croissants.
Yeah. It's so different. It is so good.
Yeah.
And so reading this book and experiencing this YA fantasy makes me realize what a pale imitation so many other YA speculative fiction. I'm going to throw sci-fi in there too.
Yeah. In particular, our focused series of Twisted Tales.
Oh my gosh. This is what Twisted Tales wishes it could be.
Yes, 100%.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad we took a break this time and it wasn't a terrible book.
Yeah, I know. This was legit so good. Like I said, a breath of fresh air.
But I do wonder if that's going to make it harder for us to go back.
To read the next one, yeah.
We've had several breaks in the series and we've done bad books and then we're just like, okay, well, back to the main series. But this one, we have to go back and be like, I could be reading a really good book.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see what happens with that.
I would say a sourdough I don't have to feed out of 10. Low maintenance, nice, fulfills my life, all that, but I don't have to put in a lot of effort.
That made a lot of sense to all the bakers in the audience.
Sourdough is notorious for being super, super difficult to deal with, super difficult to keep alive, and to get right. Notorious.
Read again, yes.
100%. We'll have to be purchasing this book.
Yeah, I got the physical copy for Christmas and I was like, yes!
Yeah.
It's been on my list for a while.
It's going to be going on to my honorary book of audiobook listens. Thank you for suggesting it.
I'm glad you liked it.
I did, a lot.
But have you read this book? What baked familiar would you want to have? I'm pretty stuck on Gingerbread Man, honestly.
Yeah, gingerbread was just super cool.
Do you have any book recommendations? Tell us all about it in the comments below. If you liked the video, hit like. And if you're enjoying yourself, hit subscribe for more. Thank you for exploring A Wizard's Guide to Baking with us. Join us next time when we'll be covering Animorphs, The Stranger, The Andalite's Gift, and The Alien by K.A. Applegate. I'm Sam Reiner.
And I'm Kaitlyn.
And we hope to see you and a friend here next time. Escape With Me Book Club is a Lunar Skulk production. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok to keep up to date with us. Lunar_SKULK.